Welcome to the 2026 March Madness Defensive Guide. In this video, we will take a look at the defensive players and tactics most associated with each team in the main bracket. With the tournament starting up, here are some things to look out for on the defensive side of the ball. The number one overall seed in this year's bracket is Duke. Duke is a very intelligent switching team. They like to switch 1 through 4 most of the time with enough length and size to do so. This, however, will sometimes get them into cross-match situations. They're a very advanced switching team and will peel switch a lot to get back to favorable matchups, and will do so by reading where offensive players are moving to next to switch if there's an opportunity. Take this play against Michigan, for example. Boozer and Foster switch the back screen here. The next action ran by Michigan is a pin down on the other side of the floor, followed by Johnson diving to the rim. Anticipating this, Boozer and Foster stay where they are on the floor and switch it back again. Their high-level switching ability oftentimes allows them to correct switches to get back to favorable matchups. Siena, the winner out of the MAC conference, does a really good job of closing out off of ball screen passes. They are ranked 12th in the country in Synergy's ball screen defense commits metric, which measures what happens once the ball is given up after the ball screen is set. They do a really good job of recovering out to shooters once it's kicked out from a ball screen action. They tend to play the ball screen 2-on-2 most of the time with little to no help, so they can fly out to shooters easier on the perimeter. Ohio State has shown a soft 2-2-1 press back into an extended 2-3 zone on occasion. The wings in their zone are extended up near the free throw line, trying to take away any wing threes. The guards up top will be in your typical 2-3 zone rotations, with one on the ball and one sitting near the nail to take away any pass that goes to the middle. The goal of their zone defense is to eliminate any top of the key or wing threes, really trying to funnel teams into just outside the elbow area for tougher mid-range twos. TCU is one of the best post defense teams in the nation. They look to double the post on most occasions, trying to get it out of the post player's hands. Anytime the ball is thrown into the post, they double from the lowest man. This lowest man, or sometimes called the hole defender, is always pulled over to the ball, making it easier to double the post right away once the offensive big catches it. The big defensively for TCU, 3/4 on the high side to take away any middle post move, so that the hole defender coming from below can shut off any angle the offensive big might look for baseline. What stood out most when watching St. John's was their ability to peel switch. Oftentimes they are overly aggressive defensively, which can lead to backdoor cuts or blow-bys. This is where they're able to peel switch, switching a close-by defender onto the ball, while the original on-ball defender switches onto that guy's man. St. John's is elite at making plays off the peel switch, contesting shots and going for deflections. Northern Iowa has some of the best closeouts in the entire country. Ranked 3rd in the nation at defending the three-point line, they are elite at closing out to shooters with high hands. They are also able to contest really well without fouling, making it difficult for offensive teams to get clean looks off. They also don't overhelp on any ball screens or drives, which gives them time to fire out to shooters. Kansas probably has the best shot blocking prospect in the entire country in Flory Badunga. Ranked in the top 30 in block percentage, Badunga is a freak athlete who provides elite levels of rim protection. He's a super mobile big man who can get up to the level of the ball screen while still being able to recover to block a shot at the rim. He is also long and athletic enough to stay in front of quicker guards, being able to stay within reach to make a play on the ball. Cal Baptist is top 10 in the entire country in assists per field goals made. They have very good individual defenders who can guard the ball one-on-one without much need for help defense. They like to let teams try and isolate one-on-one, which allows everyone off the ball to stay home on shooters, not giving up a lot of kick-out assist opportunities. They are also very 2-on-2 in ball screen situations, allowing the big and the guard to play the ball screen by themselves to keep off-ball defenders locked onto shooters out on the perimeter. Louisville is really good at attacking the roller in ball screen actions. Their guards tag with extreme physicality, slowing down the roller, which messes with the rhythm offensively. The Cardinals have been able to force numerous turnovers from their physical tagging alone. They are also really good at meeting the roller up high, not letting him get deep catches in the paint, and forcing them to make decisions with the ball near the nail and beyond. South Florida locks and trails almost every off-ball action to eliminate threes coming off of a screen. Their bigs and off-ball defenders are really good at stunting and swiping at the ball, stopping the ball handler from getting downhill just for a split second. This either allows the guard who is chasing over the top to recover easier, or it forces the offensive player to take a tough contested mid-range shot instead of getting all the way downhill to the rim. Michigan State has multiple bigs that have high defensive IQ. One of the things that they do a great job of is shadow any off-ball screen actions, similar to what we just talked about with South Florida. In their game against Indiana at home, they allowed guards to recover back to the ball easy by showing or shadowing off of pin downs run for Lamar Wilkerson. North Dakota State is another team that thrives off of doubling the post. They are top 35 in the country in forcing turnovers from post-up situations defensively. Like TCU, they also double from that lowest man on the backside. However, what they do a little bit different is mix up when they go to double. Sometimes they will go on the flight of the pass, other times they will wait a few counts before they go double. By mixing up when they go, this disrupts the rhythm of the bigs in the post, not knowing if or when they will be doubled. UCLA is one of the best teams in the country at attacking penetration with off-ball defenders. They truly thrive in scramble situations, flying around to closeouts or to attack any sort of penetration. They always err on the side of having more players rally to the ball than not, which makes it difficult to attack driving lanes offensively. As you see in some of these clips, once the ball gets into the paint, all 5 guys look to converge onto the ball. Something to look out for when watching UCF is their late game press. With their length on the guard line, they were able to turn Cincinnati over a few times late in their Big 12 tournament game to come back and win it. There have been other instances throughout the year of them being down late in games and forcing a few turnovers to get back into it. UConn's Silas DeMary is one of the best on-ball defenders in this tournament. The Big East all-defensive team selection will take on the challenge of guarding the best player on the floor each night. His athleticism and quickness allow him to stay in front of some of the most explosive guards in the country. He's also very aggressive and oftentimes likes to pick up full to make the ball handler work to get it across half court. Furman is another team that is top 50 in the nation at limiting assists on field goals made. They play most ball screens 2-on-2, they're not overly aggressive in the gaps, and they force offensive players to beat them 1-on-1. They will often be present in the gaps, but will not lunge to stunt and take them out of position. This allows their off-ball guards to stay home on shooters and not let up catch and shoot threes. Florida's bigs Thomas Houck and Alex Condon are elite perimeter defenders as big men. They are really good movers defensively who can slide their feet laterally and contest jump shots off the dribble with their length. Houck often defends guards, which can make him a matchup nightmare at 6'9", 215. Condon will also occasionally get switched onto guards, especially in their under-out-of-bounds situations, but his elite lateral movement allows him to stay in front of quicker offensive players. Prairie View A&M is a super aggressive post-doubling team. They tend to double or dig from the high side rather than coming from the lowest man on the backside. They are looking to turn you over whenever they double, ranking top 60 in the country and creating turnovers off of post-ups. In their first 4 win against Lehigh, they sent 6'7" Corey Wells to double the post, doubling with length and forcing 5 turnovers from Lehigh's post-ups. Clemson is one of the best teams in the country at defending in isolation situations. Ranked in the 98th percentile in isolation possessions according to Synergy, they do a really good job defending when teams try to take them one-on-one. A big reason for them being so good in that department are their bigs. Clemson has a group of bigs that are really mobile and can stay in front of guards who try to take them off the dribble. Iowa is one of the best gap teams in the entire NCAA tournament. I have another video on this channel breaking down Drake's gap presence from when Ben McCollum was there last year, but the same principles apply. They are really good at stunting to impede drives, and on the flight of the pass, closing back out to the perimeter to not give up wide open catch and shoot threes. They have really good hand activity in the gaps as well, digging at the ball to jar it loose for turnovers. Tyler Tanner for Vanderbilt is one of the best on-ball defenders in the SEC. Named to the SEC All-Defensive Team, Tanner is super quick sliding his feet on the ball. He is smaller in size but is sneaky strong, so he doesn't get posted up or pushed off by bigger players often. He is elite in ball screen defense, and his quickness and agility allow him to get back in front easily. I just finished up a whole video on McNeese's defense, but the thing that stands out about them, similar to Iowa, is their gap presence. They are number one in the country in defensive turnover percentage, and a big reason is because of how aggressive they are in the gaps defensively. Unlike Iowa, their main goal is to attack the ball and go for steals in these gaps. They switch 1 through 5 a lot and sit in the gaps to help on penetration when teams try to go at mismatches. The thing I noticed most about Nebraska when watching them defensively is a bit specific, but is the way they don't change their feet in ball screen defense. With 5-out motion offenses, a lot of teams try to gain an advantage by setting what's called a ghost screen or touch screen. Their goal in setting these kinds of screens is to get the on-ball defender to flip their hips or open up slightly to open up a driving lane. Nebraska is able to offset this by staying square on the ball, not allowing any driving angle for the ball handler off these kinds of actions. This is something I noticed Scott Cross's team did last year, but Troy will occasionally get into what I like to call a reverse box and one. This is where they identify a player on the perimeter that they are okay with shooting threes and paintball him by sticking his man in the paint as a permanent help defender. They essentially dare this one player to shoot and live with the result to help on any drives by other perimeter players. North Carolina runs a super deep drop in ball screens. It is not quite the level of a super drop, but it is close. UNC's bigs do not move much up the floor while the ball screen is being set, essentially allowing the guard to take pull-up jump shots. It gives enough space for the on-ball defender to get back in front of the ball after the ball screen occurs. North Carolina's bigs are also in perfect position to absorb the roller, eliminating the need to tag much from other perimeter players. Brandon Jennings from VCU is another great on-ball defender to watch out for in this tournament. He has great size and length, standing at 6'4". The A-10 all-defensive team selection thrives in ball screen defense. His physicality takes away valuable operating space for the ball handler, making it uncomfortable to drive downhill to the rim in ball screen actions. The Illini are dead last in turnover percentage and steal percentage defensively, but that is by design. They do not play in the gaps all that aggressively, basically daring teams to beat them one-on-one. They trust their individual defenders with taking care of their own matchups. The most help that does come is from their big man Ivisic, who provides great rim protection where he is top 5 in the country in block percentage. Another team that likes to double the post is Penn. Penn will double in a variety of ways, but they almost exclusively double from the high side. The main post defender will shade towards the baseline, and the double will come from that high side. Sometimes the double will come from the closest defender. Other times they will choose a guy to double off of, usually coming off the big if there's a big who doesn't shoot it out on the perimeter. When watching St. Mary's, you'll notice they're one of the best defensive rebounding teams in the entire country. They are top 5 in limiting offensive rebounds, so they really only need to focus on their first shot defense. When you take a look after they force a miss, typically all 5 guys get in and around the basket to help with the rebounding effort. Nobody for them leaks out up the floor, and they make sure they secure the ball before taking it down to the other end. They will occasionally have a guard hang around the three-point line, but that's typically the defender who just closed out to the shot or is there for outlet purposes. If you remember watching the 2024 NCAA tournament, you probably remember watching Samford's buckyball style of play. Bucky McMillan is now the head coach of Texas A&M, where he plays the exact same style of defense. A&M will pick up 94 feet for all 40 minutes of the game and try to run teams out of the gym with their pace. They are super aggressive, trying to trap everything in the backcourt and force as much uncomfortability as possible. Houston is probably most known for being one of the most aggressive defenses in the country. They hard hedge or blitz almost every ball screen, making it difficult for guards to maneuver around their length. They have athletes all over the floor, and their bigs do a really good job of showing that length when on the ball. They also do a great job of rotating on the backside while the hard hedge or blitz is going on, not giving the ball handler a clean outlet pass. Arizona is a top 10 team in the country at forcing jump shots off the dribble. They have bigger guards who are more physical on drives, cutting off driving lanes to force these off the dribble jumpers. One of the more underrated defenders not only on their team but probably in the entire country is Ivan Karchenkov. At his size, he's able to slide his feet at an elite level, cutting off any driving lanes quicker guards may look to get to. LIU is a really intelligent switching team. They will look to switch out certain actions like this Spain action here to get back to a favorable matchup for them. They also have pretty mobile bigs, to where if one of the guards gets clipped or caught up in the ball screen, the bigs can emergency switch it and use their athleticism to stay in front of the ball. Villanova is a team that really tries to keep everything on the sideline. They look to ice every ball screen that is on the side, keeping the ball away from the middle of the floor. Even in their switching, they make a conscious effort to keep the ball on the side. They will angle their closeouts in a way that shuts off any possibility of a middle drive, wanting to send the ball baseline into all of their help. Like we talked about Louisville earlier, Wisconsin also does a really great job of tagging the roller with physicality. Their guards do a great job of hitting the roller when they're on their way down, altering their route to the rim, which can mess with the timing of the big and the guard in the action. They've also been able to force multiple turnovers with their physicality in these types of actions. For example, this clip shows what a good physical tag can do to the timing of an offense's ball screen and roll. High Point thrives off of their hand activity in the gaps as well as digging in the post. Ranked second in steal percentage defensively, they are super aggressive in the gaps with elite hand activity. They do a great job of digging or raking at the ball without fouling, and they also tend to dig a lot in the post, trying to jar the ball loose from the offensive bigs. What makes Arkansas so interesting is their athletic ability to switch the ball screen coverages that they play. They have athletes all over the floor at all 5 positions, so they are able to throw out multiple different coverages defensively. Oftentimes they are in drop, but if they need to change up the look, they have the ability to blitz or be up at the point of the screen to make reads harder for the ball handler. Hawaii is another team that plays the ball screen 2-on-2, providing little to no help, evidenced by them being 3rd in the country in assists per field goals made defensively. Their bigs are in a higher retreating drop, while their guards look to fight back to get in front. The off-ball defenders do not offer much help, allowing them to stay home on shooters. If you want to see more on Hawaii's defense, Hoop Vision has a great in-depth video on their no-help scheme. BYU almost exclusively plays out of a flat show in ball screens. Their bigs are athletic enough to slide their feet and cut off the ball handler on his way to the rim. They also have great length and hand activity while the ball screen is taking place, making it hard for guards to make passes to open players over the top of the defense. Texas won a thriller of a game in the first 4 against NC State. In that game, they were able to showcase multiple different ball screen coverages. Their 7-foot center is extremely versatile defensively, and he can get up to the point of the screen or play in drop coverage. They did a good job of mixing things up to give the guards of NC State multiple looks off the ball screen. Gonzaga has a group of guards who are very strong and very physical. They will get guards cross-matched in the post defensively, but with their strength and size, most of the time they are able to play one-on-one against bigger offensive post players. They will still dig slightly, but most of the time will allow their guards to go one-on-one in the post. Kennesaw State has one of the best shot-blocking tandems in the nation. Big men Braden Liu and Trey Simpson both average over 1.2 blocks per game, and Kennesaw State as a team is top 15 in block percentage defensively. Both bigs move well and are able to protect the rim not only in the half court, but are also able to get out in transition to block shots. Miami will occasionally get into a 3-2 zone with 3 guards up top and 2 bigs down low. The zone is designed to limit top of the key and wing 3-point attempts. It seems like in this zone, guards are responsible for anything above the break on the perimeter, while the bigs will take anything that falls below the break and into the corners. On the flip side, Missouri will look to get into a 2-3 zone every now and again. They run your traditional 2-3 zone with an emphasis on extending the wings out just a little bit to help on anything that goes above the break. Something they do that is also pretty common is man up once the ball gets into the middle of the zone or the nail. They do not deny the middle, so once the ball is entered into the high post, they will go right into man-to-man defense. Purdue will throw out multiple looks when doubling the post. They've shown doubling from the hole in games earlier this season, as well as doubling from the passer, which is what they did against Michigan in the Big Ten title game. It's all dependent on who they are playing and what post players the opponents have, but look for them to double in a variety of ways, especially once they get further into the tournament. Queens did not make it to the tournament based on their defense, but something that they actually do well is force teams to play one-on-one. Queens is top 70 in the country in assists per field goals made defensively and do a good job of making teams beat them individually. They rarely help off shooters and do not play in the gaps all that often to eliminate assist opportunities. Michigan is one of the best switching teams in the entire country. They area switch every off-ball action that is 1 through 4, making it very difficult to accomplish anything offensively. A lot of times they like to switch to a top block, forcing the guard coming off the screen to backdoor to the rim, cutting into all of their help. Their switching, coupled with Mara being a 7'1" monster in drop coverage, makes Michigan one of the best defenses in the entire country. If you want to see a more in-depth video on Michigan's switching, I made one a few months ago that highlights their defensive tactics. Howard is another team in this tournament that likes to press a lot. Over 20% of their defensive possessions involved some sort of press defense this year. The most common one for them is their trapping 2-2-1 press. This press is designed to speed the offense up and potentially force some turnovers. If the offense is able to get it across to the half court, Howard will just flow right into man-to-man defense. Another team that likes to press is Georgia. The Bulldogs often run a man press after made baskets or dead balls. This press is more of a softer press, looking to make the offense labor a little bit before getting it across half court. They will pick up 94 feet and let the defender on ball go one-on-one in the backcourt. Again, this press is a softer press that does not look to turn the ball over. They really do it just to eat some of the clock away and make the offense work a little bit before starting their offense in the half court. St. Louis has the luxury of being able to play two different ball screen coverages with two different big men. Robbie Avila is mainly in drop coverage, forcing the ball handler to take mid-range jump shots. On the other hand, their backup big, Paul Otieno, will hard hedge almost every ball screen he is involved in. Otieno is a bit more mobile and athletic than Avila, which allows him to get up high defensively and cause uncomfortability. Having two bigs who can be in two different coverages makes it really difficult for teams to prepare for both looks. Texas Tech does an excellent job of moving on a string defensively. Their anticipation for the next pass is super high level, which is why teams struggle to get good looks offensively. Once the ball moves from one side of the floor to the other, either by the pass or the drive, you can see Texas Tech's defenders shift as the play either starts to go away from them or go towards them. They rotate off the ball really well, covering up the next easiest read for the offense, forcing them to make tougher decisions. Another team similar to Villanova is Akron. Akron looks to keep everything on the sideline, especially in ball screens. They are really aggressive in their efforts to ice the ball, angling their bodies to shut off any opportunity of a middle drive. This can sometimes give the ball handler a good look at a driving lane with the on-ball defender's opened up hips, but Akron does a good job of flooding to the ball, making sure there is a help defender pulled over on these drives. Alabama is a really aggressive gap team. They are really good at shutting off driving lanes by being present in the gaps, often leaving their own man on the perimeter to step in and help on a drive. Sometimes they will be so aggressive in the gaps that they will just peel switch it out if the original on-ball defender gets beat. This aggressive style of gap defense makes it really difficult for guards to get downhill and attack the rim. Hofstra's Joshua Decady is a fascinating defensive player. The CAA All-Defensive Team selection is a 6'8" forward who can guard all 5 positions on the floor. For someone at his size, he's an elite lateral mover and can easily slide to shut off driving lanes. He's also very strong and physical, bumping smaller guards off their driving lines, which forces them into tougher two-point shots. Sometimes the best defense is offense, and for Tennessee, that is the case. Tennessee ranks first in the country in offensive rebounding percentage, which forces them to keep offenses on the glass, not allowing them to get out in transition. Teams are so focused on trying to keep the balls off the offensive glass that it takes away their ability to run out in transition. This allows Tennessee to play in their set defense most of the time, not having to worry about transition baskets. In their first 4 win against SMU, Miami, Ohio did an unbelievable job of loading extremely far over to the ball and then rotating out from there. They doubled the post often, loaded over from the hole in ball screens, and really made a conscious effort to stop the ball at all costs. From there, they did an excellent job of flying back out to shooters, running them off the three-point line and rotating out to stop penetration. UVA was second in the country in block percentage as a team this season. A huge part of why is their big man tandem of 7-foot freshman Johan Grunlow and Ugano Onyenso. Onyenso is number 1 in the country in block percentage, while Grunlow is also in the top 10. Both bigs move really well and have elite timing when it comes to protecting the rim. Even during plays they don't come away with a block, their paint presence forces teams to take uncomfortable shots over their length. Wright State will break out a 1-2-2 press back into a 1-3-1 zone. They've done it more recently now than earlier in the season, so it's safe to say we might see it again here in this tournament. They let Horizon League Defensive Player of the Year TJ Birch man the top of the 1-3-1, where he's able to speed up the ball handler and pressure him out near midcourt. Everyone else on the floor rotates like your typical 1-3-1 zone, trying to funnel the ball into the elbow area for deep twos. Kentucky likes to zone baseline out of bounds situations on defense. They like to put a big on the ball and zone up the other 4 defenders. Those 4 defenders will area switch everything out, being able to cover up almost any action that involves screening or slipping to the rim for an easy layup. This forces a lot of punts by the offense, forcing them to get into something else offensively. Once the ball is inbounded, Kentucky does a great job of scrambling out switches to get back to like matchups. Santa Clara runs one of the more interesting ball screen defenses that I watched while doing this project. They run a very unique hedge ball screen defense during ball screens involving Allen Graves. They let Graves attack the ball handler for 2 to 3 slides, while the guard goes far underneath the play, meeting back with the ball handler once Graves begins to retreat. It allows the on-ball guard to take a path where he can't get clipped on the screen, while also giving him enough room to square the ball back up once Graves is back to his man. There's a lot you could say or talk about when it comes to Iowa State defensively, but it starts with arguably the best on-ball defender in the country in Killian Torrey. Torrey will defend the other team's best guard for 40 minutes and pick up 94 feet. His physicality and overall quickness make it almost impossible for guards to get around him. He has the physical tools and defensive tenacity to take out a number 1 scoring option for an entire game in the tournament, regardless of who they get matched up with. Aaron Nkrumah for Tennessee State is top 5 in steal percentage in the nation. Averaging almost 3 steals per game, the 6'6" guard has some of the fastest hands in the country defensively. He has the physical tools to switch 5 ways and is able to generate turnovers without fouling, as he averages less than 2 fouls per game.